Welcome to Behind the Spotlight. Thanks for joining us. We have Ivory Blue in studio today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So it's so great to have you. We're going to kick it off with your song. It's called Tidal Waves. Would you mind telling us a little bit more about it?
Yeah, it's like when I wrote it, I was just really feeling like the anxiety that the world has just like bestowed upon me.
Yeah.
You know? And
love that.
It's like,
Isn't that fun? Anxiety.
Like, it's not like a natural thing where it's like, oh, I'm so happy. Oh, shoot, I'm not. Yeah, it's about anxiety, and it's the closest like metaphor I could find for it.
Tidal waves.
Tidal waves,
I like
a
it.
big tidal wave.
I can totally get that. Okay, well, this is Ivory Blue with Tidal Waves. Take it away.
Come and go like a daily bite of mellow. Your heart beats, but it beats too slow, too slow. Oh no, like everybody needs a little flame for the soul. Your flame is too long and it drags the floor. You set the room on fire just to watch it explode. You can't speak, no, 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 no. I've got this tidal wave and it's a little bit too much to take. Feel alive and dragged away. I'd like to take a dive sometimes, but I can barely breathe. I find some place that's suffocated, like it was made to break me. Where you feel alive and suddenly you're being dragged underneath by your tidal wave. Your tidal wave. To compete with this cone of souls. It's hard to get ahead when you keep hitting the floor. It's like you're never higher than a begging for more. Your heart beats, but tell me what for. Everybody needs a little flame for the soul. Your flame is too long and it drags the floor. You set the room on fire, just watch it explode. You can't speak, no, 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 no. A little bit too much to take. You ever feel alive and you're dragged away? I like to take a dive sometimes, but I can barely breathe. I find some place that's suffocated, like it was made to break me. Where you feel alive and suddenly you're being dragged underneath. Got the cold feet for the Capricorns. If they come and go like a daily bite of mellow. Your heart beats, but it beats too slow, too slow. Oh no. I've got this tidal wave and it's a little bit too much to take. You ever feel alive and you're dragged away? I like
And that was Tidal Waves by Ivory Blue. And, you know, it's so interesting watching you perform because I see you basically playing all the instruments using your setup here. How does that work?
Well, the only things I don't play is, are the drums and the bass. But usually it's a looper, so I'm able to like play a part and let it kind of continue on through the song. Yeah, I noticed that. You're recording these pieces at the very beginning, and then you're looping it, and it all kind of melds together into this pull
song.
them in and out.
Into music. It's incredible.
That's really what a song is. So it's like it's really easy to do like when it comes to like arranging it.
It's repetition, basically. Yeah, it is. It is. And then, but then you add the vocals. But it's so neat to see one person do all of that. Were you self-taught?
Looping wise?
Yeah, all of it.
Yeah, I didn't have like a teacher or anything. Is that like, nobody taught me how to do looping.
Is that something you take?
YouTube maybe?
Looping teachers.
I guess YouTube would be the looping teacher.
Sure.
Because I looked up a lot of stuff. Like I know Ed Sheeran. He did it. Yeah. But he did it with like acoustic and stuff. And I like playing acoustic and things. I know. He can make it sound good just acoustic, right? So you've learned it all yourself, and you learned your instruments. It's very impressive, and it sounds amazing. And we've got more coming up from Ivory Blue after this. Welcome back to Behind the Spotlight. I'm here with Ivory Blue, and you have such an interesting story to me because you were originally from Indiana. Yep. You were adopted, had kind of a rough childhood. Yeah. And then eventually found your way to Kansas City. Yes. So talk to me a little bit about deciding to run away from home. Since I was adopted, I was into a family that had like 4 kids already. And they adopted 2 more or something, and they adopted me and my brother. And I really wasn't like favored, I guess. I was kind of like the problem child, and it showed like in the way that the family was kind of like treating each other and things. The love was there. It's just I felt so much rejection for like who it was, and I was blamed for everything. It's really petty stuff, but when you're a kid, it really measures up to the point you're like, enough is enough. Yeah. And you just leave, like it was like gone. 15 years old, I left. You left at age 15, you left home, and where did you go? It was really snowy, so I didn't really have long to go before I like got really cold. Yeah. So I went to the park, and I thought I could maybe like sleep there for a while, you know? Oh. It was, you know, it's just like, I figured, this ain't bad. Yeah, come on. This will be fine. Yeah. And it was not. I was like, no, this is not working. I can imagine. So I went to a friend's house like 4 or 5, maybe 6 blocks further towards the school that I was at. And they let me stay there. Like their family, like his family allowed me to stay there. And I lived there for a while. And long story short, you know, I'm alive. You're alive. I'm so glad you didn't stay outside in the park in freezing temperatures. Yes. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So you did find some support, and eventually you ended up. When did you come to Kansas City? I was living in Oklahoma City after I moved from Indiana. I went through different homes and stuff like that with friends and things, and I was like, okay, so Oklahoma is great, but I'd love to see Seattle. Because I met a really good friend on like the websites and stuff. And so I lived up there for a while, and it just wasn't the same. So I was like, I have to get out of here. You know, it was nice. The person was nice and everything. I don't want to say bad things about them. But the whole experience was just really negative, and it was really cloudy there. Seattle wasn't for you. No. Yeah. I didn't even get to see the scene. Like, I was so poor. I was living off quarters. Like, to go to the bus, to go to work. Isn't that something, too? Is you can go to a great city, but if you don't have the money to live in it, it's one of the most expensive cities. Oh, is it? Yeah. Yeah, I see. I wouldn't know. Absolutely. Yeah, I wasn't there, so it's like... So you left Seattle and then decided, well, I mean, why Kansas City? I'm kind of curious. Well, to know what made you feel at home here, maybe? I do feel at home here. Yeah. I really do. It is definitely a part of my heart now. My friend from Washington, her name's Beth, she knew somebody that played piano in Kansas City. Oh, crazy. And on the outskirts of it anyway. Yeah. And so it was like, okay, this would be cool if you all collaborated.
Yeah.
But it turned out to be more of like they could take you in and like help you so you don't have to be on your own anymore.
Yeah.
So I really just had an option. I could either go from Seattle back to Indiana, where the corn does grow, and just like all the parties and stuff like that, or I could actually try to make something of myself.
Yeah.
And move out of this squander, of this life of squander, and move to Kansas City.
And not live off of quarters anymore.
Not live off quarters. You know, it's like they've helped me for the past 7-8 years, and it's incredible. It's the Van Loo family, and they've just really opened up their hearts, and for real. Like, it took me a while to open up mine, but now that I have, it's just, the trust is there and everything.
Oh, that's incredible.
So of course it's home.
Yeah. And I'm so glad to hear that you've developed that and you've been able to come back from that, because it is very hard to recover from some of these childhood injuries, you know, early on.
Well, they have therapy for that. It's like a living. People make a living off of it.
There's a whole reason that exists.
Yeah.
It's, So, I mean, tell me then, you started to get into music as a way to handle some of these complicated emotions, right?
To escape?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Totally. Yeah, to escape.
Tell me what you write most of your songs about.
I used to write, like, and I say used to first, I used to write my songs about, like, the rejection from my family and stuff like that, and, like, feeling rejection over the years because I got kicked out of houses, as well as, like, moved into them and had fun times, built up memories. But now my songs are actually about the experiences I find. This is going to sound stupid, but, like, spiritually speaking, of what I find in the world that reflects on me, like just how I see myself in the world. And it's like when I write Tidal Waves, I don't do it to like relate to anyone. I do want to relate to people, but it's now become a way for me to connect, to like be able to see myself in my songs.
Yeah, and to seek out connection.
Totally.
I mean, I think that's what attracts people to music to begin with. And also, you know, I think it sounds like you went through a journey of self-discovery as well, and you did decide to identify, and you came out as non-binary, transgender. Tell me about identifying as that and being an artist. What has the response been like for you?
It's actually, I'm not really sure. Okay, so I love the fact that people are open and things like that. There are some people that aren't, obviously. I'm not your poster child for like anything. Yeah. So I'm just myself, and non-binary is the closest like label I could put on myself. Right. Be kind of like putting a label on my music. Okay. Like it's all kinds of stuff. Yes, it's pop, it's rock, it's a little bit acoustic, you know, stuff. But my identity is a lot more personal than just non-binary. But that is the thing that like I identify as. So it's like my music, of course, it's right in there because it's like, to answer your question, people have been very open and good about it.
That's great. It's very rare. It is rare to see that in an artist. So it is, you know, but it's interesting because it's also your identity is constantly changing as your music is too. Yeah. So I like that you tie both of those things in together. And you know, how did you finally come to this, to be able to just express who you are as a person? Because I know a lot of artists struggle with either trying to be put into a box, or this is how we want to brand you, or how did you finally feel comfortable enough to say, okay, this is who I am? And I know it's not a traditional definition and it doesn't fit in a box. Right. What gave you the strength to do that?
I think it was because I couldn't do anything else. Like it was, that was either like me or nothing. Like, that's it. Like, I'm not an actor or anything. I can't pretend to be something else. Like, I could pretend to be something that is more, like, accepted, you know, and things like that.
Mainstream?
Yeah, you know.
Okay. So I like what you said, too, about you're always going to offend someone anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
So you might as well just...
Yeah, not offend yourself.
Don't offend yourself.
Yeah, and then you translated it, like, perfect. So, like, my mumbo-jumbo, you know...
The most important relationship is the one that you have with yourself.
Yes.
I like this.
Nice. I like
Teamwork.
it.
We got it.
Knocked it out. Knocked it out of the park.
Well, thank you so much for sharing some of your journey and your moments with us. It's great to hear that you've learned a lot and grown as well. And we've got more coming up after this.
My heart to a runaway car. The last one leaves at dawn, but I don't leave. Yeah.
Welcome back to Behind the Spotlight. We've got Ivory Blue in studio with one more song for you, and you're kind of getting a sneak peek of new music. All of this stuff is upcoming, right?
Yes.
Which is wonderful. Yeah. Tell me a little bit more about Elite Dreamland.
Okay. So when I wrote this one, it was initially about like just looking back on life and just how far, you know, and how far I've come and just like that.
I like that.
And it just made me realize that the cool things in life about being rich and about being famous and all that, it's not really all about that. Like life is a little bit more than that.
Hopefully. So, hopefully for most of us it is about more than that.
About connections, and love and stuff, you know, all that sappy stuff.
All the sappy stuff. Well, it is true, and you make a good point. So,
right.
So thank you for sharing all of your new music with us.
Sure.
Go ahead and take it away with Elite Dreamland.
Here we go again, just thinking about back when it will never feel a heart, even if we're back alive there. But lately I've blown some time, it's hard to cheat it, a block down, ready to go to make another glitch switch. Ooh, deep down to the darkest parts where you never know down from up, where we're going now. So wake up on each street, a one-way ticket, how the hell I get back to me? Tie my heart to a runaway car, the last one leaves at dawn, but I don't leave, yeah. Maybe I'm the one to bring you down, 'cause I'm a goner yet to be found. Here we go again, just thinking about the feeling. Maybe in a year from now we're living nearly dreamland. Love somebody just to leave them on the back burn. If you're playing Russian roulette, you better take your turn. Oh yeah. Everybody learns to play that game, but they load them all up with blanks. Wake up on each street, a one-way ticket, and how the hell I get to believe? Tie my heart to a runaway train, the last one leaves in the day, but I don't leave, yeah. Maybe I'm the one to drag you down, 'cause I'm a lost cause can't be found. Say you proved yourself to you, well it's just another thing to do. You're bound to find another life out there. $1 for a mile, all you got is change, and they wonder if you came to play. So did you come to play the game? Ooh, by the way that we're feeling tonight, everything is gonna be alright. Wake up on each street, one-way ticket, and how the hell I get back to me? Tie my heart to a runaway car, the last one leaves at dawn, but I don't leave, yeah. Maybe I'm the one to bring you down, 'cause I'm a goner yet to be found. Maybe I'm the one to drag you down, 'cause I'm a lost cause can't be found. The way I'm looking down, the way I'm looking down, oh. The way I'm looking down, oh, oh. The way I'm looking down, the way I'm looking down.